Shouldn't we?
Look, they can talk whenever they like, but now I'm talking, so. Anyway, tonight, you know that one, that fine, upright boy admitted to lying on the night of the murder? Let's talk about that.
All right, let's talk about it. I'd like to get it in here and see it again. Madam Foreman?
We all know what it looks like. When are we going to get out of seeing it again?
You brought it up.
The gentleman has the right to see citizen evidence. The knife in the way of the spot is pretty strong evidence. Don't you think so?
I do.
Right. So, let's take the facts one at a time. 1. The boy admitted to going outside of his house on the night of the murder, after being punched several times by his father.
He didn't say punch. He said slap. There's a difference between a slap and a punch.
After being slapped several times by his father. 2. He went directly to a neighborhood pawn shop where he bought a, what do you call these things?
Switchblade.
Thank you. 3. This was no ordinary knife. It had a very unusual carved handle. 4. The storekeeper who sold the knife to the boy identified the knife in court and said it was the only one of its kind he had ever had in stock. 5. At around 8:45 or so, the boy ran into his friends outside of a diner. Now, am I correct so far?
Yes, you are.
You bet she is. Now listen to this woman. She knows what she's talking about.
Right. The boy stayed with his friends for about an hour, leaving them at 9:45. During this time, they each saw the switchblade. 6. Each of them identified the death weapon in court as that same knife. 7. The boy arrived home at about 10 o'clock. Now, this is where the stories offered by the boy in the state begin to diverge slightly. The boy claims that he stayed home until about 11:30 and then went to one of those all-night movies. He left and went to the movies. He returned home at 3:15 to find himself arrested and his father dead. Now, what happened to the switchblade? This is a charming and imaginative little fable the boy invented. He claims that the knife fell through a hole in his pocket sometime between 11:30 and 3:15 while he was on his trip to the movies, and that he never saw it again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a tale. I think it's quite clear that the boy never went to the movies that night. No one at the house, thank you, saw him leave at 11:30. He couldn't even remember the names of the pictures he saw. What actually happened is this. The boy stayed home, had another argument with his father, and stabbed him to death 10 minutes after 12 with a knife. He even remembered to wipe the knife clean of fingerprints. Now, are you trying to tell me that the knife really fell through a hole in his pocket and that somebody just came along, picked it off the floor, went to his house, stabbed his father with it just to be amusing?
No. I'm saying that it is possible the boy did lose his knife and that someone else stabbed his father with a similar knife.
Take a look at the knife. I've never seen one like it. Neither had the storekeeper who sold it to the boy. Aren't you asking us to believe a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm not asking anyone to believe it. I'm just saying that it's possible.
And I'm saying it's not possible.
Look at it. It's the same knife. Quiet. Where did you find that knife?
I was walking for a couple of hours last night, just thinking. I walked through the boy's neighborhood. This knife comes from a little pawn shop 3 blocks from his house. It costs $6.
It's illegal to buy or sell switchblade knives.
That's right, I broke the law.
All right, listen, you pulled a real bright trick here. Now, supposing you tell me what you proved. Maybe there are 10 knives like that, so what?
Maybe there are.
Okay, so what is that? They're the same kind of knife. Is that the discovery of the age or something?
It would still be an incredible coincidence for another person to have stabbed the father with the same kind of knife.
Right. Gee, that you're right.
The odds are 1,000,000 to 1. It's possible.
But not very probable.
Listen!
Interesting. All right, answer me a question. Why did the boy buy a knife in the first place?
Well, he claimed
Yes,
that.
he claims that he bought it for a friend of his because he dropped his friend's knife on the pavement and broke it.
That's what he said.
Baloney.
The friend testified that the boy did break his knife.
Yes. And how long before the killing? 3 weeks, right? So how come our noble lad waited 1/2 hour after his father slapped him and 3.5 hours before it was found here in the father's chest?
Well, he was going to give it to a friend. He just had to use it for a minute.
Let me ask you this. It's one of the questions I wanted to ask in court. If the boy bought the knife to use on his father, then how come he showed this would-be murder weapon to 3 of his friends just hours before the killing?
All of this is just talk. You know the boy lied.
Maybe he lied. Do you think he lied?
That's a stupid question. Sure, he lied.
Do you?
You know my answer. He lied.
Do you think he lied?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure? All right, who do you think you are? The boy's lawyer or something? Where do you get off cross-examining us?
Isn't that what's supposed to happen in a jury room?
Listen, there are still 11 of us who think he is guilty.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think you're going to accomplish? If you want to be stubborn and hang this jury, go ahead. The kid will be tried again and found guilty sure as he's born.
You're probably right.
So what are you going to do about it? I mean, we could be here all night.
It's only one night. A boy may die.
Brother. Anybody got a deck of cards?
I think you ought to make a joke about it. What do you want me to do?
Now listen. Like, I don't understand why all this